don't care. There it goes. All right, we are back with the new episode. How's it going tonight, Zach?
Uh, Pretty good. It was kind of a nice day. Just spent it with the family. Did some chores around the house.
Yeah, it was kind of a quiet weekend around here as well. Yeah, no racing, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, we have another ad, Zach, for Southern Minnesota Raceway. That's where we raced last weekend. It's been a good time lately. This is for the 1A scale buggy shootout. It's going to be $20 a class. Now he's trying something different. He's going to have sportsman, open 110 scale. What's crazy is that open 10 scale has some significant traction, and guys are bringing out their Pro Fords and their mini truggies. It's pretty good. Then you got e-buggy, e-truggy, nitro open 40 plus and 1/5 scale. They got indoor and outdoor pits, power available, restrooms, concessions, and vending available. Hobby shop on site. Signups are from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Practices 8:30 to 10. Races start at 11, and there's awards. The e-buggy mains are double A mains, so you get a little bit extra bang for your buck there. And also, um, go to FTR's Facebook page. They are having a waffle right now for Nada Doc, and all proceeds go to the Dockin family. $5 a ticket. They're waffling off an EB48 2.2. Yeah, $5 a ticket. Go to FTR Raceway on Facebook. Get your ticket. The drawing will be announced August 18th. Digital entries are available. PM Sean Van Dalen. Winner is responsible for pickup or pay for shipping. So, yeah, that's good support right there to help them out. So, yeah, man. So I hit the burnout to where I do got to take a week or two off, and I did take yesterday off. So I got all of my stuff ready to go for Saturday. And then I'm like, well, if nobody's running fifth scale, maybe we'll stay home. And it's to the point to where I stayed home and I didn't feel like I was missing out, even though I was. FTR is an awesome facility. They had a great race yesterday, but I didn't feel like I personally was missing out. I needed the week break. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah, I felt that way. It's been a long time because now I don't get to race very much anymore. So,
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
And then Lucky 13 started posting about their oval on their Facebook page. I'm getting excited for that, but that's a different thing. I took the kids to the zoo yesterday because it's probably going to be the last time. Um, hey, Roach checking in. How's it going, Roach? He's got an awesome Facebook page. Go to Roach RC. I've been watching his YouTube videos. They're pretty damn good, dude. It's like
I
almost something to aspire to. Go ahead.
I want to, but I don't have the time.
Yeah, I know what
Like
you
I
mean.
finished dinner and then put I got my wife's putting our daughter to bed right now. I
Yeah.
was helping her get that done, and then I set up a studio, and now I'm here.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, yesterday, anyways, back to the zoo. So I took the kids to the zoo. Great time. My daughter, too old for it now. Joe 3 is right on that cusp of being too old. But I mean, this is related to nothing RC at all. But for the first time in person, I heard a lion roar, and it sounded like it was going to like reverberated through my chest. That lion was could not. It wouldn't be possible for that lion to get anybody, but it still freaked me out, man. That thing was so freaking cool sounding. And I always take my kids because maybe not in my lifetime, but in my kids' lifetimes, zoos will probably be outlawed for the most part.
Yeah, like the Louisville Zoo does rehabilitation for most of its animals.
Okay.
Or they are like messed up from something and they can't be released back into the wild safely.
Yeah, that makes sense. They weren't captured from their habitat.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a big problem with that kind of thing. So we did a lot of research on the Louisville Zoo before we. I have a almost a 1-year-old daughter now,
Yeah.
and she likes doing stuff, and I'm only can do so much stuff around the house with her.
Right.
So you can buy an annual membership for like, I don't know, it's pretty cheap,
Yeah.
and you can go as much as you want, and it's fairly close to our house. And so it's kind of cool. You said they're too old for the zoo, but I'm 30 years old, and my wife and I went to the zoo before we had our daughter, just by
Okay.
ourselves a couple times.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love the zoo myself, and so does the wife. But I do remember being, a pissy teenager being like, oh, this is so lame.
Yeah.
What was cool is so every time because the zoo we go to is donation only. It's free for the most part, but you always give a donation.
Yeah.
Um, but they have a park next to the zoo, and back in my day, they used to have BMX jumps. They don't have them anymore because of obvious liabilities. But I used to take my BMX bike with me, and when my parents went to the zoo, and my sister's older, but she always went. I just biked for 2 hours, and yeah. So, anyways, yeah, man, it's is a good day today too. Just a good day. So,
Hmm.
remember the last time I got hit in the head with the A scale e buggy?
Right.
So this relates to it. Getting hit in the side of the head with an e buggy was so painful that getting punched is absolutely nothing now.
Yeah. Are you gonna be like Ed Norton in Fight Club?
Like, my wife asked me that. She goes, "You have an office job." She's like, "I don't care about jujitsu." She goes, "Stop getting hit." It's like I suck at it, but I love it. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Roach is saying he used to work at the Bronx Zoo, and they had him working with the Madagascar hissing roaches. That's where he got his name. That's awesome. Um, Jacob Schweisberger checking in.
Shoot.
Yeah, have you done any race in the past 2 weeks? I went racing last week.
I went racing last weekend too.
Was it
Um,
a success?
yes and no. So I tried. So if you guys don't know, right now in asphalt touring car, a lot of the tracks are getting to a point where aluminum chassis are starting to become beneficial,
Yep.
like they are on carpet, but not quite as much. Like you could drive. Well, I can't say this for all the tracks, but for the track I race at locally, um the you could drive the aluminum or the carbon chassis, It's looking like the aluminum chassis is going to be slightly faster, but I have to figure out how to tame it down first.
So are you gonna have two cars, or are you gonna switch it?
No, I'm gonna bring one car. I don't have. I are you? No, I don't have two car money.
I,
It's
I
ridiculous.
understand.
People that like, if I get my cars for free, sure, I'll have two cars. But
Yeah,
like, just to furnish the car with electronics, it's like $1,500.
I know. I know.
And
I got to furnish my sprint car with electronics, and then I have to buy a late model and do that as well.
hmm yeah, well, yeah. So I don't have really any deals. I just kind of I run for Discount RC Store, and Phil gives me
Yep.
a discount, but
Do you still run for Phantom?
I do, yeah.
So that
But the
helps a little
problem,
bit with. Oh, go ahead.
but they're not IFMAR approved.
Yeah, the list came out.
Yeah, well, I knew they weren't going to be IFMAR approved. I talked to them, and they didn't submit anything. So,
Gotcha. Theodore checking in. So is Lance. Jacob's got a question. Are any of you guys going to Island on the 29th? No, but I do plan on
24th.
doing the 24th. Sorry. I do plan on doing the 3-race Iowa series. That's right. So, Jacob, I just can't go inside right now. You got to make hay when the sun shines, and it's too nice in Minnesota to be indoors. Jessica Oldham checking in. All right. That's cool. Listeners are starting to build up a little bit. So, with the aluminum chassis now, are you going to be able to get the same consistency out of it, or is it going to be that way for the worlds?
So Orlowski ran aluminum chassis at the Awesomatics race at finish line where the
Yep.
world is, and he destroyed everybody. He apparently
Well,
went faster with the aluminum chassis than the carbon one, just for reference.
right.
I am having a little bit of a problem with consistency at the moment because the car has more steering with the aluminum chassis than the carbon
Yeah.
chassis. I
Okay.
don't really understand exactly why that is. But I'm going to try and work on it. Um, I had a bad set of tires. So I missed 2 practices, and I only have like maybe 4 before racing starts.
Yep.
Um, so I kind of threw out 2. Uh, so I didn't have a lot of testing before the qualifiers. So in the qualifiers, I was just trying to make the car drivable, and I was working on the rear end of the car because I didn't know if the rear end or the front end, either because I hadn't run that car before. I've never run the 800R before, so it's a new car. I've never
Yep.
ran the aluminum chassis compared to the carbon chassis, so I was kind of just guessing on what to do. And as the track warms up, the front end gets more aggressive, but I had it set with the carbon chassis to be like optimal for later in the day. So the car I would need more steering at the beginning of the day, which I guess I
Right.
could change. It's just a shim, but um and then the and then as the temperature came up in the track and the grip did as well, the car wouldn't have too much steering. But
Right.
now the car has too much steering, and so I'm gonna try a couple things next time I go to the track.
Yep.
But
A tough
it's
thing to
looking
fix.
promising.
Yeah.
And if
Well,
not, I'm gonna bring the carbon chassis and I'll just switch it out. It'll be
I was
okay.
going to say that's a big change. We're in August.
Yeah, well, September. I think so I'm going to the Roar Paved Nats in Texas,
Okay.
and that's probably going to be my last race. Hang on, let me
Gotcha.
double check. And then I'll have um, that will be my last race.
Right. Right. I gotcha.
So that'll be it before Worlds. I'll rebuild the car.
Yeah. So last week, I raced at Southern at the Ironman Triple Crown. So that's the one where you do one round of seeding, then AAA mains.
Okay. How'd that go?
So I TQ'd, not by a lot.
Which class?
Fifth scale, sorry. I want to bring an A scale down there, but they need a couple more entries to run 2 classes for me. You know what I mean? Because, well, there was a disaster after the second A main where we'll get into that in a second. So Tony Swenson won overall by, it ended up being split by 0.2 of a second in the final main, which, I mean, you can't.
It's good racing.
It's always good racing with Tony. I took second, and Dennis Schmidt took third, and my boy lost the tiebreaker to finish in the fourth, Merle in the fifth, and John Gashesky in the sixth. So first main, my tires were gone. And I'm like, maybe I'll just try to ride it out on these. And then I just said, screw it, I'm going to stop being lazy. And for the second main, I put on brand new tires. And the truck was phenomenal because, tires are 90% of it. Well, all of a sudden, I was dragging something and I couldn't see what it was. It kind of looked like, so on the shocks, there are straps so it doesn't pull the bottom of your shock out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, probably broke a strap. And then all of a sudden, my throttle's sticking, but I still have brakes. I'm like, what's going on? And I barely limp in for the win in A2. Well, the thing that was dragging was my kill switch became disconnected and the leash was dragging. And then the throttle sticking, that makes it super scary because if I knew the leash was dragging, I would have stopped. So I fixed that. I fixed the gummed up carburetor arm because I'm like, oh man, is the servo going? Was my original thought. But I still had brakes. So like the throttle was sticking, but I still had brakes. So I'm like, all right, let's clean up the carb. I did that. It fixed it. Then Joe 3 in that race, he blew his clutch bearings. So it's like, okay, it's like I had time to fix that all, but barely. If I was running a second class, I would have been screwed.
It's all fifth scale.
Yeah, I'm talking about fifth scale currently. Joe Scaramel checking in. He looked like he probably had a good day yesterday. But they had E-Buggy's always the biggest class there. They ran the AAA. Drew Dawkins just tell you what, Drew Dawkins, him and his dad own the track, but he is going fast everywhere right now. They go to a couple of big races a year. I think they might be going to one this winter. I guarantee he's going to be close to the top in Omaha this winter for the Techno Series, all that stuff. But in E-Buggy, Lance Parker finished second and John Kisslinger finishes third. But it's just cool to watch people drive knowing they have more mains to go. Like I said, we did one round of seeding, then it was triple mains. It was so much fun. It's fun to do something like that every once in a while to where almost all your races count.
Well, we talked about this, I think, last time. I like the different formats. I think they're fun.
Exactly. Do one race regular format and then go wild with another. At all the parking lot races, this is for necessity, don't get me wrong. But instead of having timed mains, we're having lap mains because for some reason, when we turn on the time mains for this dude's live RC, they do one lap and it finishes the main. I can't figure out why. But if we put it on laps, it doesn't do that. So we've been having, lap mains, and you drive. I don't know if you drive different or what, but I also having I also like having times when it's lap countdown instead of time.
It is kind of nice because you know you got like 2 laps to go,
Right. And you can really start pushing. It's a
or
lot of fun.
hold your line if you're. But you know, same thing. If you got 10 seconds to go, like don't suck.
I'll
What
tell you what.
what?
Oh, go ahead.
What?
I was going to say in that third main, I
Mm-hmm.
pushed so hard because I crashed twice early. I'm like, I just have to push her. Otherwise, I'm never going to catch up. Um, and so I just started pushing as hard as I could. I pushed beyond my skill for like 6 minutes and held on. And that's why I almost got the win from him on the last lap by 2/10. I went from being like 12, 13 seconds down, and I
Wow.
just pushed. It, dude, I've been enjoying. I would have loved to go to FTR yesterday because
Mm-hmm.
Van Dalen's track is awesome, but it's like, and again, nobody was racing fifth scale, and it's like, oh, I got my A scale ready to go. I replaced the bad shock tower that from when my truck ran away.
Mm.
My truggy's ready to go. The boy's buggy is ready to go. I'm like, I asked Joe, I'm like, you want to take a week off? He's like, yeah. It's like, all right. So we just took the week off. And then hopefully we're probably going to take the rest of August off besides parking lot race. And then we'll see. We'll probably be feeling pretty good by September. But
What kind of format do you think is ideal for like spectators to watch?
well,
Laps would probably be easier, right?
yeah.
And then
Qual
what? Like beyond that,
laps. Well, our qualifying is not spectator friendly.
most of the
Um,
racing isn't.
no. Um, Roach is saying there are a few races to go this year to Georgia and Florida. I got to get down to Florida one of these days. I want to go to Beachline, but I do think laps because it's so much better to say 12 laps to go instead of 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Spectators understand that so much more.
Well, that's how most of the other sports do it. You
Yeah.
know, like NASCAR
Well, yeah. Well, like
and
Formula One is laps, but they do have a time caveat. It's this amount of laps or 2 hours, whichever comes first.
mm,
But it's 99% of the time, it's always laps. There's
I
like,
kind of like that though, because then the
yeah,
race doesn't go on too long.
right. I forget which there was a NASCAR, and I was a NASCAR fan until they started busting the race up into stages.
Mm.
Roach is saying that's how FPV drone racing does it by laps. Yeah. Um, but I used to be a NASCAR fan, and one time I want to say it was Indianapolis. They had graded the track like they were like did this weird resurfacing thing, and it was eating tires. And it's literally you could go 10 laps on a set of tires or you'd blow them if you went any farther. It was horrific. And it wasn't building a groove. It was doing this like it was creating rubber dust. So that race ended up being 5 hours, and that was not good. I want to say that was way back in the day though. That was like 2007, 2008. But yeah, with NASCAR, I used to watch every single Cup event. I tried to watch every Xfinity event, and I tried to watch the Xfinity. It's like I enjoyed trucks and I enjoyed the Cup, but that middle league, I was just kind of like, I didn't really like it that much.
I
But
don't watch any of that. I ain't got time for it.
I used to have time for it. This was in a lot of these, like I was a race fan before I had kids, And when my kids just, you know, I sat, my daughter and I sat on the couch and she couldn't even move really, you know. Yeah, Roach, 2007 is way back in the day now,
It's almost
unfortunately.
20 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
I don't. I felt the same way. I was like, that's if you watch my expression, I'm sure that you saw
Yeah.
like back in the day,
That was
2007.
back
What?
in the day. That
And
was
then I got to thinking, I was like, damn, that's like 20, almost 20 years ago. I'm
yeah.
like, shit.
Yeah.
And well, and it made me think, like, oh man, I graduated high school in 12.
Yeah.
I was like, ah,
I was
getting old, yo.
I
Getting old.
graduated in '01.
Well, you are old, so
I am old. I'm 42
yeah.
years old. I'm 42 years old, still getting punched in the head. And it's, but yeah, I'm trying to set up the slideshow to make sure I go in the right direction. Roach, I used to feel like in my early 30s, I felt like I was 60. Then I started getting into shape. And, Zach and I talk
Gotta
about
take care of
jujitsu
yourself.
on here. Huh?
Gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah. Zach and I talk about jujitsu on here quite often, but it doesn't have to be jujitsu, like mountain biking, road biking, something. Do something.
They
Paintball.
like physically is intense. Like you'll get a really good sweat, like maybe hot yoga or like something like really like hot yoga being kind of the minimum because you're like in one place doing something, kind of like jujitsu, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, go do like it makes you feel better, and then drink more water, stop boozing it up, and um,
I gotta stop
eat better.
boozing it up again.
Well, I mean, I had
I
a
know.
couple beers this weekend.
Yeah, Joe's got a point. He says if you sit, you rust. Oh, Roach does mountain climbing. Holy shit, that's plenty.
Well, it depends. I mean, like I don't know. It like I feel like it's different if I go on a hike than if I do a hard physical exercise.
So my dude in my jujitsu text group goes, "Hey, do any of you guys want to go on a 6.5 mile ruck?" I'm like, "No."
I would. That sounds like fun.
I I'm sure it would be fun, but you say I have never heard of mountain roach.
I don't know. We're taking your word. I'm not a mountain climber. I don't know hardly
Yeah,
anything about mountain climbing, so I can't really. I'm
right.
just saying the like I've done like some rock walls, and you can kind of just like hang out and then take your time. And then like there's this gym near me that
Yep.
has just a bunch of different rock walls, and some of them are like vertical, and some of them are like you're hanging back, and
So now I've
I,
seen a cool one. I've seen a rock wall that works like a treadmill.
hmm
So you're forced to go.
see that would probably be a good workout. But like
Yeah.
the climbing like the rock wall by itself, I can kind of like take my time and then think about what I'm doing, and then
I
if I
think
have to
with an
backtrack, I can.
I think with an actual mountain though, you got to be on your ball.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're going to be like. I think it's going to be more like a jog than a sprint.
I don't know.
Is all
Yeah.
I mean.
I mean, sometimes it
I
can
don't
be.
know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I don't know either. It sounds like it would be fun. It sounds like it'd be an activity, but yeah,
I'd
that's the
like to
thing.
do it, but I'm beyond that. I don't know.
Yeah. But like I said, dude's like, you want to go on a ruck? It's like, no. It's like, I got a weighted vest for you. I'm like, that's a double no.
Oh no, I'd do it without the vest. I just go.
So Roach is saying grip strength. You get that from jujitsu as well. My fingers are mangled.
Yeah, homie. Like that's I Joe. Well, Joe, you're too small, but I think I'd be okay at rock climbing.
I'm too
You
small.
well, you height wise, you have an advantage. The longer you are, you can reach things.
How tall are
What's
you?
that? 6 foot tall.
See, I was 6 foot until I started jujitsu and my back got compressed. Now I'm got it back to 5'11". I got down to
Oh, are you? I
5'10".
thought you were like 5'8".
No.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's fine. No, I used to be like my daughter and I are about the same height. She is a giant.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you get old. You shrink.
Yeah, it does. But I was boxing today and I was kickboxing and we are doing MMA rounds, and then all of a sudden I couldn't hold my hands up anymore. That's the kind of workout I need to do.
Yeah, you got to beat the demons down. Right.
Yeah. So, Zach, before we get into much
Yes.
more, because I got some disappointing news about myself that I'm ticked off at myself about, but we got some new pinions to look at.
We do.
And usually I don't care about pinions,
So
but
these are kind of cool.
these are pretty
Um,
rad.
they are. So, if you guys don't know,
I'm
Donovan
working on it.
RC, that's okay. Um, is a North American distributor for JSM Hobby.
Right.
JSM specializes in titanium products. So they have some like drift products, and they have titanium battery grips, and they came out with titanium screws that are awesome, like really great strength. They are strong as a 12-9, grade 12-9 steel screw,
Yep.
and then you get your different colors, and they have a really cool head. So he's been working on these pinions for a long time now.
So are these
Probably
4 pitch only?
these are 48 pitch to start.
Gotcha. Nice. So I can get them.
Yeah, so they will be in sizes to start. They'll be in 16 to 40 tooth. They weigh approximately the same as an aluminum pinion. Um, I don't, I didn't compare them, so I can't say that 100%. But we'll get an official weight for them once the production run is completed. So these are all pre-production.
It looks like you had a
Um,
lot of fun with anodizing.
yeah, so he has these 8 colors, and then he did 3 patterns.
Yeah.
Um, and they'll be they'll have the pinion number on them, of course. And
Yeah.
the cool thing about these is they're really durable.
Yeah.
So like I have an aluminum pinion on my car,
Yep.
and it's a literally brand new pinion, and a rock got in there, and now it's chewed up.
Ooh. Now look at that. Look at the blue storm.
That's pretty cool. I like the candy um one. This one.
Dude.
Those are skulls.
Yeah. I see
Those are
that.
awesome.
That is rad. I mean, just for the but the thing is, so here's a question. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but does it make your car sound different? Like some pinions and some spurs can make your car sound different. Does it make like
I didn't ask. I will ask so we have several team drivers testing them. And I had not asked them about the sound. I asked them about the performance.
right? And that's what matters. But it's always I either like my car to be really silent or I like it to be obnoxious. So I don't know.
Mm, yeah, I don't have a no comment. Uh so yeah, but the pre-order is going to start in about 10 days,
Okay.
towards the end of August. Um and I don't know when they're going to be in. I don't have a release date for them yet. I feel like he kind of jumped the gun on this because we've been talking about him for 3 months now,
Yep.
which is too long. But it's not my company, so I'm just. But I think they're really cool. These are the first titanium pinions I've ever seen. They're really durable. They're about the same weight as aluminum. They have really good heat resistance.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a factor in pinions. And apparently they're super round. They're like really centric.
Well, that is important because, as you know, no matter what you do, in a spur gear, there's always a tight spot, always. And
I know.
if you can minimize that as much as possible, so Roach is saying, you see, there's a game called Warframe. Half of the community is all about fashion. RC is no different.
Well, these are
No,
a little bit fashion, but these are also like, so there's some people
fashion
that
and
run
function.
aluminum. Yeah, so a little bit of both. So some people like, especially the dirt oval guys,
Yeah.
and I would imagine people that run on like asphalt tracks like
Any
myself.
10 scale, any 10 scale, you're running aluminum or plastic, which you don't want to do.
Right. Well, yeah, they get really tore up then. But
Yeah.
so any like loose dirt style track like that, I think these would be advantageous. Um, there's like the dirt oval guys replace their pinions every couple of races.
Yeah.
Um, and I gave two of our team drivers, and they've been running them since. This has
Nice.
been like 3 months, 2 months, two
Dude,
months.
it's awesome. Yeah, I like them.
But yeah, so they are pretty. They look good. They're gonna be expensive. I have no control over the price. I'm
Right.
just the distributor. Um, you will see some people on our team using them. We already have some of the pros interested in running them, as well as some of our skilled drivers.
Sure. Roach is saying he better get his roses.
I don't know what that means. What's?
So it's a streaming thing.
Oh, okay. I don't
Like,
have.
well, like when I go live on TikTok, like people give you a rose is like a penny. Okay. And then like a galaxy is like $10. Like I've been sent galaxies before. It's wild. Like I'll be just sitting there wrenching and like people send me a galaxy and then some people subscribe to my TikTok channel and I get paid monthly for that.
Oh, is that like a super chat type thing?
Kind of.
Okay.
And you know, that's
I
a
don't know.
crappy. Oh, he meant design, but that too. Rose design would be pretty rad. If he
That
can
would
do
be cool.
skulls, he can do roses if he can do skulls.
Yeah, but like, how many people are gonna want roses?
A few. I'm sure a few.
Yeah, but I can't justify a few.
Yeah, no, you got to justify at least. Well, he's probably making 100 to 150 at a time of each tooth, is
More
what
than
I'm
that.
guessing. Really?
Yeah, bro. Okay, look, if you buy enough, Roach, I will make sure they happen. You got to put your money where your mouth is, and we'll make it work. But I can't. I like. I'm not putting the money up for it.
So, like, there's a company I make parts for, and we make the part for them already, but they say, okay, they're making 250 of these parts out of stainless. And then they're like, I want one out of Inconel. I want one out of brass. And they're saying one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, that's going to be wildly expensive. She goes, why? You already have the tooling. I said, it's all in the setup and labor hours, all of it. I said, the material's just a byproduct.
Well, that and a lot of like the depending on what you're doing, like you may have to have a different program or do it by hand because the
Yeah.
material is cut different. And
Yep.
if you're talking, a couple thousands, I don't know what you're making, but it adds up quick.
Yeah. I try to keep it fairly vague on here about that because, well, we make parts for several hundred companies, but this
No,
one,
it's cool. I'm not
yeah,
replying. I'm just, if people don't know, I used to do a lot of machining. And
yep,
my dad's a tool and die maker.
he is. Is he looking for a job? Just kidding.
I mean, I don't think he'd be opposed to one,
Does he want to
but
move back to, or
no.
does he want to move to Minnesota?
No, he does not.
Because we need
He's
a tool and die maker.
right now he runs the whole metal side. So the business is got a plastic side and a metal side, and the company got bought out like 5 years ago.
Yep.
The owners, so there was two brothers, and they sold it. And it was two brothers, like the tier would be the two brothers, and then my dad, and then the plastic foreman, and I think somebody else. I can't remember. There was like third person, and then then there'd be like individual. There like the weld shop had somebody, and then he also took care of the machine shop on top of all that. But no, I'm sure he does not want to move to Minnesota. I don't think so.
Yeah. So I only got a couple notes this week. So all Zach's saying, the design on most of his cars are faded pink into white with roses and thorns. Yeah, dude, that would be rad, but I
It
get
would be
it.
cool. Hey, look, we'll make it happen. You come up with the money.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all you got to do.
So I'm looking at the approved batteries, and a lot of these companies I haven't heard of, but it's, the same battery that everybody uses with a different label, a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of batteries.
Is there anything disappointing? Is there anything missing on the list?
Let me go through. I looked at this already.
Yeah, I'm
So I mean, you got Reedy. I don't know what Fido is. I've never heard of them. I've heard of almost all the other ones. So
Yep.
Easy is the company that. So Bruno's. There's only one pack on there, the 4400. That's all that Bruno's gonna run. He's probably gonna be the only person there running it. I can't say
okay.
that for sure, but there are not a ton of people running it. Then you have the Gens Ace motors, batteries, the R1s, EAs, Exalt, Protect, Tekin, LRP. You guys know all these.
Yeah.
Sumpadao, Nordstrom. Coyote is I don't know what that is, but it's been making a big push.
Okay.
The teal looks awesome. In cars, it Reinhard runs for them now.
Okay.
And I think Hara,
So I
and
like
it
teal.
dude, it looks awesome.
I like teal. That would maybe go with my paint job. I'm not allowed to run. Oh yeah, dude, that would go with my paint job alone. I'm not allowed to run anything except for Reedy, except for my non-team associated cars. I'm fine. So my oval cars, these Coyote batteries would look pretty good.
You should know most of these companies in here. You got much
I
more.
do, but I don't. Like, well, I know Nosram. I messed with them a little bit when I was with Schumacher back in like 2010. What's that? ITAL rating, ITAL trading.
Oh yeah, I'm not. No, that's easy. Oh, they have more over on this side. I'm sorry, I didn't see. I thought
United
they would group
Sino
them together.
Enterprises. Yeah, there's
some of these are just I don't know, man. Like
well,
but there's so many battery manufacturers now.
but they're all well, they all have one of three batteries. Yeah, they all.
So Neidhart has Orion and Proforma 1. United Sino Enterprises is Orca, it looks like.
What's Shenzhen Grapao? Oh, it's Gens Ace.
Gens Ace, yeah. So we're looking, if you guys we're just talking randomly.
Yeah.
Here. So we're going through the IFMAR approved battery list, and they have a manufacturer and part number, I guess, and then they have the picture of the battery, the details of it.
Yeah,
and then the
I should have it up on the screen, but it's not that entertaining.
No, it's not.
Roach is saying Fido's an upside down brand from Australia. Oh yeah, Performa is HB linked.
Yeah.
Our local HB driver runs Performa as well.
Well, that would make sense because it's Neidhart, and Neidhart was the company we talked about last time.
So one thing that bothers me, and I get why you have quote unquote approved motors, but shouldn't they on the mod side all be approved?
It's you got to pay for your pound of flesh.
I mean, wow, the
What is
Trinity Monster is still on the list. When was the last time you
or
seen?
yeah, but it's if I don't know how long they're on there for.
Right.
Um, you could say that with you know, the Reedy. Oh no, those are. I'm looking at the mod motors. Sorry.
Yeah, they have the M4.
Yeah. They have like 3 different dash motors on here. Um, I don't know. There's just look at
What are
that.
you what are you gonna be running?
The Hobby Wing.
The Hobbywing, gotcha.
Yeah, that's the go-to motor for mod touring car.
I've noticed that Aeromax has been making all kinds of motors and whatnot, and they really haven't made a splash in anything. I'm guessing they're just an average motor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The only person I know that actually runs them is Jacob Cruz, and he
Yeah.
kills it. You were talking
Okay.
about old motors. Thunder Power hasn't been. I don't even think they're in business anymore.
I don't think so either. I remember this was how long ago? Paul Lemieux hadn't started Motive yet, and he was still racing
I remember that.
competitively. And he was trying to run Thunder Power, and he was melting them down about every race.
Yeah, the Novak Ballistics on here. That's great. Use those. Give me one of those. I think I got one of the plugged-in sensor wire version still.
Dude, imagine how slow the Tekin Redline Gen 3. Imagine how slow that would be. That would
Yeah,
be
I
like,
mean, I don't know. They got to clean up their motor list. I don't understand.
yeah, the Trade D3.5 from 2014. Holy crap, dude. So, Eric Anderson, I doubt he listens, but Eric Anderson, if you listen to this, dude, come on. You're the president of IFMAR.
This is what Roar just did. They went through and updated their list so that things are only approved for so long, which is what they said they were going to do. Um, but yeah, so I'm probably going to use EA's batteries as well, just
These
because I know
passion motors.
EA.
Holy crap.
Dude, those have been forever.
Yeah, I ran those, and again, Schumacher in 2010. That's what I was running because I could get a really good deal on them.
Yeah,
But I was running mod, and they were plenty fast for back then. But seriously, man, like
yeah, these motors are old.
they're legitimately vintage.
Yeah.
Oh, this one? The screen one also. The screen one right here where my cursor's at. It just says Trinity. Trinity what? Also with black finish. I mean,
looks like a Reedy motor to me, but
it does. Yes. Anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah, but you have a lot of the legit motors on there, and you got a lot of. I would say 3/4 of that list is discontinued motors.
Yeah, somewhere about that.
That is bananas. But I would also laugh my ass off if somebody came with one of these old motors and like an old Novak.
You know what? I bet it'd be great in mod.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It'd be weak though. You'd have to put
a
all
Novak,
the in it.
A 4.5 Novak Ballistic is about as fast as a 13.5 today. Mark my words on it.
Okay.
I'm serious. I'm not going to say the brands of motors I tried for modified when I was trying to get the most out of my mini truggy. I had motors laying around, so I went to those first. And I ended up with whatever the latest Trinity 6.0 was because I tried older motors, and they were just turds. Didn't matter what I did to them. No, it just didn't matter. They didn't have it. I mean, you can't.
Yeah. Well, the stacks are a lot longer. The rotors are a lot weaker,
Yeah,
amongst other parts of the motor that are less than optimal.
yeah. So anyway, um, yeah, that's all I got. Except for, you know what I missed last week? Chili Bowl sign up.
Yeah, it's sold out in, I think I said 2 hours.
Yeah, it's 2 hour. Well, I'm on. I like the Facebook page, but it doesn't show up in my timeline. So I don't know. I was waiting because last year the signups were in September, so I was waiting for that. And yeah,
I guess you're not going.
I'm not going. I was gonna get on the waiting list, but I can't do that waiting list stuff.
Go to the Clash then. It's the same time. It's like January, whatever.
I'm thinking about going to the Clash, but Roach says oval makes me itch. Roach, and I've said this a million times on this podcast, you just haven't aged into it yet.
No, you're wrong. It's just not.
Nope.
I hear you, Roach. I hear you. Don't let him. Look, it's the lack of hair, getting punted in the head with the 8 scales, getting beat up all week. He's lost it. He's going senile. He's going in the home next year. It'll be okay. We just got to deal with it for another year. Grandpa will be get out of here.
No, and that's the thing though. Like my dad, he's 64 years old, and I cannot get him to the oval track. I cannot. He won't
because he
do it.
knows.
He does.
You've lost it.
I don't know, man. There's something about it. It's so hard to pin down. I'm like, oh, this is gonna suck. I went and tried my buddy's Midwest mod, and I'm like, all right, that wasn't so bad. I went home and built one, and I raced it, and immediately it's like, oh my god. And then I've just been hooked ever since. But it's not going to be my own. It's not going to be my only form of racing. I mean, that would just
drive up to Minnesota.
I'm sure
I've been there
would.
Before. I come back with an accent.
And I'm 3 hours more north of where you came from, where you went.
Yeah.
My daughter's friend, her dad works in Marshall where you were, and he takes a plane there every week and flies home on like Thursday. Because Roach is going to the Clash. Yeah.
DRC, I'll be there. I don't know why I said DRC, but I'll be there as a vendor. Yeah. DRC. I'm not racing. It's too close to the Worlds. I was just saying.
That's the thing, though. I don't have a clay car, man.
Bro,
I could build them.
I'll wait to sell my buggy.
No, John Shore is selling a B74.2 roller right now for $350. I know where it came from, and that car has extremely low miles on it. But now that I'm talking about it, it'll be gone by the time this podcast is over.
Talking about extremely low miles. That car's right there, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm not allowed. Well, we'll see. I'm not allowed.
It's a car over there that's not being ran. What are you not allowed to do? I don't understand. It's set up for mod right now. You just go. You got to buy tires. Actually, you don't even have to buy tires. I got plenty of tires.
No,
I don't know if they're so good. But.
Yeah, that's the thing. He'll trade you for a rose stained pinion. No, I can build my car. I mean, I build fantastic cars. No, my cars are good. I've made mistakes in the past, but my cars,
right? Just like oval racing's fun. Your cars are immaculate.
When I build them, they're perfect. Because I screw up when I build them, and I end up taking them apart, rebuilding. Well, the B6 series, it got to the point to where I ain't need instructions. And then they went together so well, and then the B7 came out, and then it was Mistake, take it apart, redo that step. Mistake, take it apart, redo that step over and over and over. So I'm
You
waiting
should
for the.
really only need the manual like one time for those cars.
I only needed
They're
it
pretty
one.
simple.
I only needed it one time. I use as a reference here and there for like little shims. And
Sometimes, yeah, all right.
but yeah, you're right. When you pop open bag A and there's a bulkhead, two A arms, and two hinge pins, you should know what to do.
Yeah. Like the Awesomatics, the one I built, the part I use the manual for the dampeners.
Yep.
Um, yeah, the dampeners.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I used it for the they have a weight bias thing. So
Okay.
instead of the scale, well, you can use the scales too, but they also have holes on the side of the chassis, and apparently each hole has like different weight percentage front to rear. I used it for that.
So now with your four-wheel buggy, I do have this question for you. Did you put it on the scales when you were done building it? No.
No, I built it with similar components that weighed similarly, I should say. Components that weighed similarly to other mod racers in the
Yep.
same positions they had their components. So
Right.
they said it was good. Look, Talon went 2 seconds a lap faster than I went.
Yeah, because he's Talon.
And he did a lot of them. The car is
Yeah.
capable. I just suck at off road. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. I haven't raced clay off road since 2022.
It's like running
2021.
on carpet, dude. It
Yeah,
feels
I
like
know.
running on carpet.
I know. And
Just come
again,
over to the Clash. What are we even talking about? Why are we?
well, that's the
Just come
thing
over.
though. I'm hoping that
Matt will invite you over.
yeah, I'm hoping Matt will invite me. I'm hoping he'll invite me to the
He's going
final
either
round.
way.
Huh?
You're going either way. Just go.
Yeah, I know. I can't just go. Well, if I plan the Clash, I could just go.
What's your wife's name again?
Beth.
Hey Beth, can Joe come to the race, please? I really want Joe to come to this.
Yeah. Roach says he did a build video with the B4 that took him 12 hours of filming. He knows that car front and back. Yeah. I don't, I'm guessing you're talking the A scale B4, and that car is actually fit and finish pretty well. There's a couple little things, but yeah. Yeah. I was thinking maybe I don't want to go back to Vegas, but I know that I might do another big fifth scale event on the East Coast as well.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see. I really want to do more broadcast work. I don't know, man. Matt, Matt's a busy guy, but I sent him a text because the best time to get a hold of Matt Olson's like Tuesday and Wednesday because he's not on the road at that point. I just sent him a text saying, "Hey, let me know if you need my help next month at Hoosier," and then nothing but crickets. It's like, shoot, I don't know, man.
Well, Roach, you might. Well, I don't know this, but Lance is driving up. I assume he's going to be the race director again. He was the last 2 times.
Yeah.
But also, the Louisville airport is, well, it's pretty small, but it's in a good location, and then it's, I don't know, 45 minutes from the track.
Well, sorry, gotta stop yawning. I got my ass kicked way too much today.
We could fly to Indy. It might be
Well,
cheaper.
that's the thing. So for me to drive, it's 11 hours.
Yeah, well, if you're coming by yourself, you should probably just fly.
I would fly. Yeah, that's too far. 11 hours, 8 hours is my cutoff window, usually.
I'll do 7.
Yeah.
6, 7. That's fine. That's all I got.
Yeah. Roach lives 30
Congratulations.
minutes away. Yep.
Are you going to make a round trip Are you just gonna take off and land in the largest airport,
Um,
or you gotta land at another one?
so Matt Olson and also all the J Concept guys fly
Mm-hmm.
Southwest. And I started looking at flights on Southwest. They do not have any direct flights going from Minneapolis to Louisville, except, well, I looked a
What
little.
about?
I normally fly Delta.
Why does it matter if there's not direct flights? Go Delta.
I
What's the problem? I don't know. I just use the cheapest one, which is normally United or American.
Yeah, well, use cheapest to a point because you can always go Spirit or Frontier, but every bag is
Oh,
going to
all right, my
charge you.
bad.
They'll charge you
Okay.
so much money.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not a thrift person. I want my RC stuff to get there in one
right.
piece. I don't want it broken. I don't want it missing. I don't. They like the last time I got on a plane, they gave me a hard time. There's plenty of overhead storage, but I had to check my bag, and I was like, well, I got lithium polymer batteries that can't go under the plane. Like, well, you
Yeah.
got to take them out. So in my carry-on bag, I have 2 changes of clothes, and I have my radio, I have my charger, I have my, I had 2 cars, and oh, my extra batteries.
Okay.
So I've got a couple other things in there too, but so they made me unpack the suitcase and oh, my body shells, I got those in there, and so I took my charger out too, and all that just rode loose in the bin. More than enough space. It was like a whole bin that I
Yeah.
could just put my suitcase in, but they made me check it,
Yeah.
and it's to the standard that they say I can check or carry on.
Yeah. But
Whatever.
anyways, yeah. So I
All
was
right.
looking at Southwest, and there were no real direct flights. So Delta, there are direct flights, but it's like $450. Lance is saying that's why he's so worried about flying, losing something, breaks.
Most of the time, it doesn't
Well,
happen.
Lance took our Fiskale stuff to Las Vegas last year to where we just had to fly in. We just paid for a piece of his gas. That was
Okay.
pretty nice.
Hey, what airport are you?
I'm MSP.
MSP.
Also,
I'm gonna look
well,
this up.
yeah, there's nothing flying out of St. Cloud to Louisville
What does it
because
say today?
St. Cloud is like Allegiant or something like that, and you don't want to fly Allegiant.
I've flown Allegiant once. It's not that bad.
I heard it's the worst. I've never flown it.
I don't remember. I don't remember anything bad.
I've flown Sun Country and I've flown Delta. That's it.
All right, we have a 1-hour layover.
Not gonna
Oh
do
man,
it.
flights are fucking expensive, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this year, and again, I've used this example, but this year when I went to Vegas, I flew Delta,
Oh,
and I flew Delta the same time period the year prior, and the flight was double between 2023 and 2024.
okay. It's $100 if you book it far enough ahead.
It's $100.
I'm looking at the flights now. It's $93.
Huh.
Unselect this thing. Hold on.
Well, I might have to.
Hold on. I'm trying to do the thing here, but it's not. I got my touchpad and it's not working.
Ooh, Roach is looking at a Mugen for 2-wheel. Dude, that car looks so rad. I don't know anybody locally that's driven them, but that Mugen 10 scale looks like they took the best out of a couple of buggies and made it super adjustable. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't know.
It's finally loading. I got it to work.
Yeah.
I'm mentally challenged for technology.
Anthony's wondering if we're talking about Indy. Yeah. We're talking about
$250. Oh, that was a long layover. Look, you're gonna have a layover, dude. I don't think there's any much without a layover. Oh no, there is. Delta
Delta.
$340.
Yeah, that's not bad. Delta's not bad. But anyway, yeah, we'll see. I might get. I don't know. We'll see. It's a whole we'll see scenario.
Cool. All right.
What? Anyway,
Oh,
now I'll have to figure out a way to bring the portable mat.
why don't we just go to my gym?
Yeah, I suppose. I don't. I've never. Well, I can't say never. I've never taken the opportunity when I've been out of state to roll at different places. I've rolled at a couple different places in Minnesota, but the first time I went to Vegas, I specifically took time to go to Extreme Couture. I tacked that time on the end of my trip, and I didn't have the balls to do it.
Oh, you just go. Hang on. Say hi.
I know.
I don't understand. You have all these opportunities that you're just given, and you're like,
I don't know. I don't know what it is about me. Well,
it's too many hits in the head.
no, it's not getting hit too many times.
Well, all right. Maybe it's not getting hit enough then. You got to knock some sense into you instead of out of you.
Well, the thing is, so when I go places, I feel bad for being gone for so long. I have to look into this Clash race because last year it was huge. Cool. But am I going to get the best bang for my buck at this race for myself? I'm not saying that this is a bad value or anything like that. But
no, I hear what you mean.
Yeah. Right now, I normally race 10 scale on AstroTurf and carpet. I'm not opposed to running on clay. If they use liquid wrench and shit like that, I'm out.
No, it's just
I know every
just
track.
use SXT.
Yeah, every track now should be one sauce, and it should be either TDK or SXT. Period.
You can use TDK, but SXT's better. I heard. I don't know. I didn't do any of the testing. I will have to be right back. So
yeah, Lance. Yes, we are talking about the Clash of Champions. Yeah, I'm not sure, Lance. I don't know what I'm going to do this year. We're trying to figure out. There's a big fifth scale. The mod guys rave about it. It's out on the East Coast somewhere. I think it's in New Hampshire. It's one of the best fifth scale tracks in the country. I heard it's a wonderful facility. So Roach, I got a story about that. I've told it a million times on this podcast, but it's been a while. So for a while, I raced clay. And then it's like, both my son and my son at the time was like 8 or 10. It's like we were leaving the track just feeling sick wherever we were. Well, the one track was a moldy hellhole. Unfortunately, that was one of the reasons. But other than that, it's like, yeah, we were leaving the track. We weren't feeling great. And, my son, who was 8 at the time, 9 at the time, the best way he could describe the way he felt the next day was a hangover. And that's the way I felt as well, without drinking anything. We were using liquid wrench. We were burning it into the tires. We were doing all that stupid shit. And then I went to, I want to say it was a 2022 ProTech Spring Championships at the Hobbyplex. Great race, but this was before they were using TDK and slicks. We were still using liquid wrench and treaded tires like ellipses and all that junk. And I'm like having a ball. I'm having a great time. I'm like, you know what? I'm not giving clay up. And then Saturday night in the hotel room, I started bleeding so much from my nose that I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. And it wasn't like a regular nosebleed. There was like a sting every time I sniffed in. I'm like, this is definitely from burning sauce into my frickin' tires. 100%. And yeah, so after that, I'm like, all right, I'm just done with clay. But now people have gone the route of running slicks and SXT and TDK.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's all the way safe, but it's quite a bit safer than what we were doing a couple of years ago.
From my understanding, SXT is not the worst thing, but
It's
it's
not the
not as safe as TDK.
TDK is lab proven safe.
Right, but that doesn't like mean it's like not. Don't drink it.
Well, yeah, you don't drink it, but
But it gets
it's
on your hand and it ends up. It all ends up in your mouth at some point.
yeah.
Just you can't wash it off your hands.
Right, but the fumes themselves aren't going to screw you up like liquid wrench.
Yeah, so you got that, and then like with your ellipses, you're like burning the tread off the tire. With
Yeah.
these, you just like you um I mean you go up a set of tires and you gotta run them in I think one time,
Yeah.
and then they're pretty good. I can't remember if it's one or two times.
Well, it depends on the track and
But
how abrasive and whatnot. You know,
at Hoosier it's pretty similar.
yeah. Will Brinton used to make this stuff. I still have a jar of it on my desk that I don't even know why I have it. Maybe because Will made it. He's the co-host of the Hobbyplex podcast. And it's like naphtha and transmission fluid. It's like if you crack open that jar, you're stinking out the whole house. It's disgusting. And that's
Yeah, we don't use a sanding paddle, but yeah.
yeah. Roach, some places you don't have to. Some you don't have to, I should say. Like Island Oval Track, you don't have to. I know some guys were doing the sanding paddle at the Hobbyplex in Omaha, and they weren't the top guys. So
I don't know. I was out of 10 scale for so long, so I used the Talon Henley method, and I don't know what's secret and what's not secret, so you gotta go ask him.
I'll tell you what. So I learned a lot about clay racing from 2017 to 2022. Because before that, it was I think I was going to Omaha for wintertime racing A scale exclusively for several years. That gets to be expensive. But so for a while, it's like, yeah, let's punch foams and all that crap. You know what? You could punch foams, you could put a rib down the center. Nothing works better than second run foams, and you could scuff your tires down and they'll work well, but it still doesn't work nearly as well as running them in if you actually run in the tire. But this was with treads. This was with positrons and ellipses and the raw speed. Oh, Zach disappeared. Oh man, I think he lost internet there. Shoot. We'll see if he comes back, but hold on. He's PMing me on Facebook. I got to PM him back. Can you guys hear me at all? Oh man, I still have internet. Oh crap. All right. Lance says he can hear me. Sweet Roach can hear me. So it's on Zach's end. I think this happened last time too. I wonder if the wife puts a Christmas tree timer on the Wi-Fi and it's like, oh, the kid's up. Click. Roach is saying, oh, there he is. All right, let's pop him back up. There you are.
I don't know what's going on.
Internet.
It's I Apparently, there's nothing wrong with their internet, but
it can sneeze for a half second, and that happens all the time at my work. I'm shocked it hasn't happened here yet. Roach is saying, got to get that fiber. I'm guessing he's saying the microfiber towels to break in tires. It's possible. But anyway,
they have them at the track.
yeah, I buy them in bulk at Costco.
No, they're free. You just put them back in the laundry basket.
Oh, I got you. Well, we don't have that in Minnesota. So,
Well, you know what?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. So, what are your plans the next 2 weeks before we come back on here?
Next weekend,
Roach is saying fiber internet.
oh yeah,
Gotcha.
we got it.
I don't. I got old school cable.
Next weekend I have house stuff and family coming down, and then the weekend after that, I'm going up north for a beach trip.
Nice. So next weekend, I'm going to a parking lot race. That's the next town over from me, just cause. That's going to be on a Sunday in Ramsey. Then next week, I'm also watching the Craig Jones Invitational Friday and Saturday. Free on YouTube.
Nice.
And after that, I don't know the week after that. We'll see. I might take the boy up agate hunting. That's like a 3-hour drive, though.
What hunting?
Agate, like rock hunting. The kid likes rocks. I don't know.
No, I mean that's fine. I don't really care, but
yeah, no, I get it. It's a pretty cool drive. It's like up in like a little past Duluth. Roach is breaking in a new truggy next week. Yeah, you gotta get that drive line broken in. It takes about half a gallon to 3/4 of a gallon to get a drive line broken in.
I'll probably only have one more race before the Roar Nats on the 8th.
Nice.
And then, because they only race every other weekend at the track.
So I want to bring up one more thing. So remember last episode when Lance brought up that pass between Tater Sontag and that other dude?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently that was a big deal. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was I think I don't remember who. One of them was defending, and the other one was trying to take the win. But that's part of the problem with open wheel racing.
There was still 8 minutes left to go.
But it's
Roach is saying
they should know better.
Yeah, Roach is saying bold of you to assume I have the aptitude for nitro. Nitro rules. Anyways, so what I was gonna say is it was the B main of Truggy that Dakota Fend absolutely nobody had a shot in hell to beat Dakota Fend that weekend. And they're talking about the B. You know what I want to talk about? Why was a world champion in a Truggy B main? World champion of anything when his teammate is destroying everybody. Well, that's what I want to know.
We all have off weekends.
I know,
but and I don't know.
There's a million ways to look at it, but you know what? At the end of the day, there was no ref, and if the race director didn't call a stop and go, well, that's it.
It's unfortunate. It's hard.
But it's I think the biggest thing is they were looking at, people are looking for something interesting on such a dominating weekend from Dakota. They're looking for some kind of news, and I get it. I do.
Well, because it's kind of boring. Like, Dakota killed it. All right. Like, what do you like? How I'm sure it was talked about to death.
So, do you think Dakota's back Like
You
back?
can't make that judgment off that. I would like to say yes. I think if Dakota got his poop in a group
Yeah.
like he had not last year but the year before that, I think, where he just like won everything. I don't know what went on that year, but that was like prime Dakota. That was great.
Well, you have Barry
And then,
Baker as the crew chief, and when you gel with the crew chief, that does a lot for you.
well, he's made a lot of switches since then too.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, he was running. I think he was still running Spectrum that year. Then
yeah,
he switched
radios.
to Sanwa, and now he's on Fly Sky.
Yep,
Um,
all those
there's so many
pros.
things. It's hard to
Jack Pro.
speculate, and it could just be he had a really great weekend. Like, not to
Yeah,
take anything from Dakota because, like, he's an awesome guy. He super fast. Just sometimes it's like I don't know, like what I just want to tell him, like slow down 5%, like figure out how to make your card like a little bit more drivable or like make your head space better. Like, is he in a bad headspace? Because that can take a lot away from it. Is there like a lot of pressure on himself? Is he putting it on himself, or is there a lot of pressure from outside forces? Like, there could be a lot of things going on that really affects the the level, because he's arguably the fastest driver in the U.S., if not the fastest driver, and not art. Well, you know what? He's not. It's not arguable. He's the fastest driver if he can
yeah,
put the round together.
right. You know, a couple times Mayfield, the couple of wins Mayfield got this year, he goes, I had the second fastest car. I just kept it on the wheels and I took the win.
Yeah, well, it's exactly. But you know what? That's how you you need that though, because
Dude,
you
I'm
have
getting
guys.
more and more pumped for the Worlds.
It's gonna be awesome.
The thing is, so do we do a live stream for the main, or do you probably won't have time to do a full hour?
When is
It's in
the
September
world?
sometime. It's
Let's
coming up. But the
hold on.
thing
Let's
is,
look
so
it up.
yeah, what I'm excited for too is it's rumored that J Concept will have a new compound, because you look at Juan Carlos Canas's tires at the end of a 45-minute run at Angaro's track, it was legitimately down to the foams. So they need to get another 15 minutes out of those tires. And I've heard that there's going to be a new there has to be a new compound. There's
Well,
no rumor, there has to be. You're not going to make a 60-minute final on a high grip track like that.
the 8th to the 15th is the Worlds.
Okay. Oh man, I
So
might
the
have
15th would be the
something.
mains.
Okay.
I potentially I could.
I potentially could too.
I don't know if how much I can watch of the Worlds. I want to try and watch it. It's really cool to watch them. I think I geek out on it.
I
Like,
do
it's
too.
kind of, it's more, it's like a podcast, but more than, it's like a
Yeah,
movie you
it
put
is.
on in the background. You're like, wait, what did he say? I gotta go
Yeah.
back and rewind it.
I always have it on in the background at work, and I have the audio up, and I don't have the screen up until like something starts happening. No, it's like I'll pop it up and watch it for a little bit.
Sometimes those lower mains, like not like the
No, I
bottom
know.
ones, but those
Yeah.
like those middle ones are really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
There's
like
like
the
some really
28
good
finals.
races.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, I've never heard of this dude, but like, who's heard of Zach? Like, if I go out there and race and like I'm racing against you, like it'd be a good race.
Yeah.
We never heard of each other. We both look competent on the track. We're gonna
Right.
be way slower than like Dakota, but it'd still be like a good race. And then one of us would make a mistake and be like, ah.
I've always wanted to go to a Worlds and not take last.
That's my goal. That's my goal for the world.
Yeah.
Not be last.
Well, when it comes to the United States in 2026, I'm going to figure out how to just go and spectate and, maybe do some live streaming and all that other stuff.
It'd be cool to go to that. It's
Well,
gonna depend on where it is, though.
that's the thing. It's like I almost went for the 10 scale worlds, but it's like, ah,
I was gonna go, but my daughter was born,
yeah.
so no good. No good.
Exactly.
We got the due date for her, and I like canceled all my plans.
Right, exactly. Yeah. My daughter is born in the coldest part of January. So, yeah, and that's the thing. So, for like we were talking about the Clash and we were talking about the Chili Bowl,
Hmm.
thankfully she's got a weekday birthday this year because the Chili Bowl's the week after and the Clash is the week before.
Mm.
So, I refuse to miss a kid's birthday for racing, but I'll take, like my son, I've taken him racing on his birthday.
Yeah, that's different though.
It is. It absolutely is. All right, man. We've been going for a bit. We had a pretty good podcast without having much. I mean, we had a little bit of content, but not as much as we normally do.
No, but it's okay. Like right now, probably for the next month, there's not going to be a ton until the Worlds.
Yeah, we'll
Like the
figure
next
it.
pod's probably going to be kind of like slow too, and then the one after that's going to be busting.
Right, exactly. All right, guys. Well, I'm Joe Zer Jr., and with me was my co host, Zach Donathan, and we have ran out of talent. Have a great night, guys.